You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
Hi friends, and wrapping up the week on the Friday 13 News at 10, I'm Ralph Hipp. A Topeka is in an area hospital after he was shot in the foot a few hours ago. Authorities were sent to the 1300 block of Southwest Western Avenue 3 hours ago, just after 7 p.m. TPD officers found that 52-year-old victim in an alley behind this street, suffering from the gunshot wound to his foot. Officers have a 55-year-old man in custody charged with aggravated battery. Topekans were honoring those who served tonight at the 3rd annual Salute Our Heroes Gala, which is just wrapped up. And it was all about honoring those who put the welfare of our nation ahead of their own. This is the Military Veteran Project Awards Banquet you're seeing here. And its keynoter was Mary Daig, who came to visit us here at the station yesterday. Mary's the first female explosive ordnance disposal technician in her unit and lost her arms and some of her hearing disarming a bomb in Abu Ghraib, Iraq. Mary had also battled breast cancer, but through it all, said she had the support of her brothers and sisters in uniform.
My brothers, the men and women who serve in the military, you feel a special bond with people who sacrifice their time and their freedom, basically, just to serve their country. And their reasons are all differing, but we all share that common bond, and it's something that can't be broken. And they gave me a reason to be strong and to show them that even if you lose pieces of yourself, it can't destroy you.
And the MVP, the Military Veteran Project, is a nonprofit group providing treatment for veterans who suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder and brain injuries. Now, there'll be a parade tomorrow in Topeka. It's around the Capitol area tomorrow at 11 o'clock, and you can see the parade route on the map at WIBW.com. Vietnam veterans are getting the honor they deserve through help from Fort Riley. The Big Red One opened its doors this Friday to dozens of Vietnam veterans as family and community members were cheering them on. But it was just a half century ago they came home to find anti-Vietnam War sentiment against their war service there. So Fort Riley, along with the Big Red One, put this Vietnam veteran welcome home ceremony together as a way to honor their sacrifices. Veterans from all 5 branches of the military were welcomed. A Topeka family contacting 13 News, they say their 7-year-old son was viciously bitten by a dog in their neighborhood. 8:15 Sunday morning, Russell New said he had been walking home from a friend's home in the Adams Heights Mobile Home Park, noticed a black and white pit bull approaching him and thought it was a dog that he knew. When he put out his hand and said hello, the dog bit Russell on the mouth and then ran away. Russell's gotten nearly 80 stitches after all that in the Sunday morning attack, and will have to go back this coming Monday to find if plastic surgery on him might be necessary. He says it sure opened his eyes to how dangerous unfamiliar dogs can be, and he hopes other kids will think twice before approaching one themselves.
I see any kid go try to pet a stray dog again, I'll be like, no, only if you ask the owners, and if there ain't no owner around it, don't pet it. I'll say, you can even look at my scars. See that scar? And they'll look and they'll be like, oh, I'm getting away.
The pit bull's owner is this man. It's 26-year-old William Weber Jr., cited now for having a dangerous dog, the dog running at large, no Topeka City tags, and an additional fine for the city to transport the dog to be quarantined. Oral arguments this morning, the state of Kansas defending its public education funding as an attorney representing 4 Kansas school districts says the children of Kansas need quick action to fix education funding shortfalls. The state's appealing that decision over the summertime by the 3-judge panel here in Shawnee County that the state's new block grant funding law doesn't meet requirements for funding schools equitably. This was about the equitable part today as Chief Justice Lawton Nuss and the justices listened in and ordered the state to go back to a per pupil formula. The state attorney was Steve McAllister, saying the decision in 2014 to take on block grant funding as lawmakers look for a better solution should not be punished. That funding came up nearly $55 million short of the mark. An attorney for 4 Kansas school districts, Alan Roop, says that block grant funding distributes state funds in ways hurting programs for poor and minority students. The next hearing will be in the springtime. This was about the equal division of school finance. The second hearing early next year to focus on the total adequate spending. Kansas slashes its revenue projections, and the governor's budget chief, Sean Sullivan, says there will be immediate budget adjustments. The new forecast predicts $354 million less of state revenues now through June of 2020. 2017 than earlier anticipated. This new prognosis creates a deficit in the current budget as well. Sullivan has announced $124 million of budget adjustments to close that gap to avoid any delays in Kansas being able to pay its bills. Reaction from Senator Anthony Hensley of Topeka, quote, "The destruction of a proud and great state continues at the hands of a D.C.-trained governor," meaning Sam Brownback, who he said is so bought and owned by special interests that facts, reality, and the suffering of his constituency don't matter. Things must change. He says we cannot continue down this path, end quote. And there's plenty of reaction from Topeka all the way to Washington as the White House today blocked the Keystone XL oil pipeline. It's been the focus of Washington political debate for almost all of Barack Obama's term. Today, the president said he agrees with the State Department that the XL pipeline would not serve the national interest and wouldn't provide that many jobs. The pipeline would have shipped about 830,000 barrels of crude a day from the fields in Alberta, Canada, all the way to the U.S. Gulf Coast, that pipeline going through Kansas. TransCanada put in its request 7 years ago, and that's when the political fight began about jobs and the economy and the environmental impact. Republicans criticized the decision today, and they say they're vowing not to give up on the construction of Keystone XL. Senator Pat Roberts saying the president has lost an opportunity to create 42,000 jobs and decided to ignore the project's support from the American people, Congress, and labor unions. Our area Congresswoman Lynn Jenkins echoing that the president showed he is more interested in style than substance, she said, and he chose to surrender to fringe environmental groups. Family fun night for the High Crest section of the capital city. The Net Reach Center held its reptile exhibit for families in High Crest tonight, and the youngsters had the chance to get up close and personal with snakes and turtles and gators and bearded dragons. There are about 150 people at the event tonight as we've got the photographs from that. And the families chowed down on hot dogs and had some lemonade. Lemonade, was that a good drink to have? How chilly is it out there, Jeremy, and how chilly for the weekend? What do you say?
Ralph, overnight temperatures are expected to be in the mid-30s. That is about average for this time of the year. The last several days we've seen highs in the 70s, even touching 80, but that's been well above normal. Here's what we have out there for your weekend. Temperatures going to return to what's considered average for early November. Tomorrow, sunny, cool, 57. Not terribly cool for this time in the year. And then Sunday, warmer, sunshine, and 60. The winds a little stronger on Sunday out of the south and southwest, up to 20 miles per hour. But certainly a lot of sun this weekend. Again, temperatures typical for November, and just a beautiful fall weekend. The parade tomorrow will be dry in Topeka, and the weather cooperates nicely. Capitol Federal Skycam looking out from Quinton Heights Hill. The sky is mostly cloudy overhead, but no rain in the area, none expected. We had a high of 64 today. That's above average for this time of the year, but colder than what we've been used to the last several days. So far, we've seen almost 42 inches of rain for the year, and we are well ahead of what we saw last year and what's considered average for a calendar year in northeast Kansas. North winds 5 to 8 miles per hour right now, not terribly strong, but keeping the cold air in place. And tonight we'll see those lows in the 30s. It's already in the upper 40s in Hiawatha. Concordia has 48 degrees, and we do have those clouds in place. This precipitation showing up, evaporating on the way down, and we did see some heavier returns out in western parts of Kansas today, and even some light snow in parts of Colorado today. Look at the temperature in Casper and Denver, below freezing, well below freezing for many folks out there. And as we look at Supercast, we'll see our temperatures dropping to the 30s here. Concordia 32 in the morning, possibly dropping all the way to freezing. May even see some patchy frost. Tomorrow's highs close to normal, upper 50s expected in our area, and no chance of any rain in the forecast for tomorrow at all. Tonight 35 degrees. Tomorrow we'll see that sunshine and 57 degrees. So again, a typical day for November. And as we break down the 8-day forecast, dry weekend, do want to mention that Wednesday, Veterans Day, of course, we have a chance of seeing rain here. I also want to mention that the computer projections are showing possibility of severe weather in Oklahoma, southern Kansas, and eastern Texas. It might be a problem here. It's something to watch for. And parts of Nebraska and South Dakota looking at snow on Wednesday. We have a chance of snow 2 weeks from today, so that's quite a ways down the road.
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now. It's the computer projections show right now.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy. Have a good weekend. And Kansas Prep Zone is next. By the way, Stephen Colbert is welcoming Ohio Governor presidential candidate John Kasich. That's about 25 minutes from now. But Kansas Prep Zone on the way. Chris and Jonathan are back with your scores and highlights from all the high school grid action featuring Topeka High at Derby. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to Kansas's #1 source for high school highlights, Kansas Prep Zone. And it starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Kansas Prep Zone alongside Jonathan Deutsch. I'm Chris Lilly, and the playoffs are officially here for all the classes.
You bet they are, which sets up our Academy Sports and Outdoors game of the week. It's all about Topeka High.
Yep, on the road at Derby. Shake some hands, we'll get going. This will be a tough matchup. First quarter, Brady Rust for Derby. He gets to the outside and he'll bust it 42 yards for a first touchdown run. It would be 7-0 as he goes here into the end zone. Just marched right down the field and then goes to the second quarter. Rust, 50-yard touchdown pass to Kai Lemons. Life gives you lemons, you score touchdowns.
Yeah, lemons are sour, but that was sweet.
14-0, and then they would keep pouring it on as Derby will keep it on the ground. Rust gives it off to Lemons, and they score a touchdown there.
They were just rolling.
And they'll do it one more time. This time they'll do it through the air, 68 yards down the sidelines. Ooh. They were exposing the Topeka High defense that's played so well all season, but Topeka High, they would get on the board in the form of Corey Thomas. He starts us off with a long pass to Dante Brooks, finding his weapons. They're getting a nice block on the edge, too, as he's running away.
Put your head down and run.
Yep.
Motor.
And he would eventually get tackled, and it would be Sailor Caraway for the short touchdown run as he gets it inside. Don't make it 35-7. But it would be too much Derby Panthers as they go on to win 52-21, and they beat the Topeka High Trojans.
Well, the Junction City Blue Jays were undefeated on the season, but with a tough task with the 6A runner-up from last year coming to town. Here is Hutchinson looking to play spoiler on the road. First touchdown of the night. It's going to come from Junction City. And who else but Javon Baldwin.
So solid.
This one, 21 yards, right into your living room and straight into the end zone. That makes it 7-0 Junction City. But then Canyon Maldonado tries to find Trey Richards to even out the score, but pushed out by Junction City's Timothy Bells there. Then Junction City still leading. Ray Wilson takes the direct snap. He goes in for the 14-yard run, bringing Junction City up 14-0. Then Hutchinson's Canyon Maldonado hands off to Brody Smith. He rushes down the middle for a 72-yard score, making it 14-7. We got ourselves a ball game. Then Wilson, how about it? Direct snap again, 30 yards, making it 21-7. Junction City, they move on with the big win, 56-21.
Yes, in Pittsburgh at Shawnee Heights, we saw this matchup in sectionals last year. The Thunderbirds, they won by 20 in the upset. But Pittsburgh at Shawnee Heights, and they would shake hands before this game. And, well, look out for the ref, Rick, as he's getting right into his face.
Oh, geez.
Here's Trey Brown, the quarterback. He is in concussion, so he's not playing. So they started Mitchell Lady at sophomore at QB. And early it was Pittsburgh. Spencer Turnbull gives it to Sherrick Rogers. He goes 46 yards for the touchdown, and Pitt takes the 7-0 lead. They remember last year.
The Purple Dragons.
Yep, and let's play some defense. Turnbull throws it, and it's intercepted by Christian Clark. Nice catch for the Thunderbirds, and he runs it back 20 yards. He's tackled, but that drive stalls for Shawnee Heights. And then Mitchell Lady in the second quarter throws it to Sam Renfrey. He makes a big gain as he goes up the sideline, but he is officially pushed out of bounds, and they would be forced to punt there as well. Then Turnbull hands it off to Rogers, and he scampers for the 48-yard touchdown. Whoop! Off to the races, and that would put Pittsburgh up 21-0, and Pittsburgh wins 49-0, ending the Thunderbirds' season.
St. Thomas Aquinas is trying to get back to the state title game. They were up against the Seaman Vikings first. Seaman on the road in this one in Overland Park. We got some cheerleaders at the football game. That's
they
impressive.
traveled.
That's impressive. Look at that. We should try that, or we'll get hurt. I don't know. First quarter, St. Thomas Aquinas up 7-0. Carter Oderman throws it deep, but there's Simeon Sykes breaking it up. Good defense there. Got the head around, made the nice play. Then on 3rd and 11, Hunter Williams runs Gives Jason Garman enough time to get open for the nice grab and
Sideline
the first
Joe.
down. He got the toes in. He did a little tap dance in the summer. Then the ball on the 40. The Saints, Carter Oderman pitches to James Cosentino. Now watch this run here. He goes avoiding tackles. And then we're going to go back the other way. All right,
East, west, now north,
this,
south.
I like this side better. Let's go this way. Turn it on the burners. 21-0 after the first quarter. Then St. Thomas Aquinas on the 25-yard line. Oderman to Gerard Lowe. A nice pitch and catch there for the score. St. Thomas Aquinas, they move on. They win it 55-21.
And stick around. We still have some more great games. 4A games coming up. Hayden and Holton.
And don't forget, we'll have our play of the night later tonight. Kansas Prep Zone. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Kansas Prep Zone. And the Hayden Wildcats, they're looking for a strong start to the playoffs, playing Augusta first at home. We'll go to that game here at Hayden High School. And the Hayden Wildcats looking to bust through the competition. They run out onto the field.
They busted through that sign.
Yeah, but the Augusta Orioles with other ideas. Hayden driving early, and Dallas Crittenden passes to Mason Dodd for a nice pickup there, which is at the beginning of the second quarter. Sets up Daniel Gato, who runs up the middle for the score. They miss the conversion, so it's 6-0. Zach Barclay and the Orioles the other way, and he throws it deep to Grady Toll for the huge completion. Now they're in the red zone. But on fourth down, Barclay gets stuffed right at the goal line. Hayden playing tough-nosed defense.
Love the defense.
Yep, a turnover on downs, a defensive battle, especially here. The Orioles block a punt, and they're once again in striking distance. Could they take advantage? Well, Barclay drops back again on fourth down, and he goes to where there's no one open, so he just throws it into the end zone, and it's picked off by Dodd. Another big play by him.
Another fourth down stop.
Yeah,
My
and that
goodness.
drive stalls. And like I said, it was a defensive battle until late. Hayden with some late touchdowns, and they would go on to win 21-0. And Santa Fe Trail up against Jefferson West. Both teams with 5 wins on the season.
That's right, Chris. Santa Fe Trail, they got a message for the opponent's girlfriends. Next Friday, date night, apparently. Jeff West hoping to be busy instead with a football game here. Let's see what happens. We'll start in the first quarter. 5 minutes left. Back to pass. That's Bryce Erickson. Connects up top with Daniel Courtwright. Goes full extension, keeps his feet. He's headed downtown. That makes it 6-0 Chargers. Then, last few seconds of the quarter. This is Hunter Dean's house. Hunter Dean's house. He's going to the house. Makes it 8-6 for the Tigers. Second quarter, Peyton Newton. He punches it in from 1 yard out.
Looking like Cam.
Then 2 minutes left in the half. Chargers charging on another one. They score again from 1 yard out, and they lead it 20-8. But just before halftime, Tigers, they needed to clean up their act, so they go with the sweep to Quentin Guerra. He gets into the end zone, but Santa Fe Trail comes away with the win. They get it 35-22. The Holton Wildcats with 3 losses on the year, but that doesn't matter if they make a run in the playoffs up against Osawatomie.
Here we'll go on to Holton. And in the first quarter, it would be Holton's Justin Ryshek, who hands it off to Mason Barta, who gets a clear lane straight to the end zone, and it's 7-0 Wildcats. There you go, same quarter, Holton's Ryshek fakes and hands it off. Oh, nope, it's there. Austin Frakes down the field for the 14-0 lead.
Such a good fake.
Fooled everyone.
Even us.
Not the Wildcats, though. Second quarter, Holton's Ryshek runs to the right, throws, and he's picked off by Will Thompson. He runs the other way. He evades a few defenders until finally being brought down at the 40-yard line. But that would go nowhere because, again, Ryshek drops back, airs it long, this time to Caden Brandt.
Oh, nice
making
catch.
the one-handed catch for the first down and some. That sets up again. Ryshek hands it off to Will Wright, who topples his way into the end zone. 21-0 Wildcats. Holton wins 35-12, and check this out. Brooks Barta, he earned his 200th career win.
Somebody make a banner.
Congratulations
Somebody
to him.
make a banner for 200.
It's a big win, 200. Stick around. We have more Kansas Prep Zone coming up.
Including a look at the playoff brackets and, of course, our play of the night.
Kansas Prep Zone will be right back. Welcome back to Kansas Prep Zone. It's also the soccer playoffs, the semifinals. Washburn Rural against Olathe East. in Kansas City, and we would head out there. And Washburn Rural taking on Olathe East for a rematch of last year's championship game where Olathe East won 2-0. And here they were 7 minutes in the first half, and Olathe East's Logan Steen scores to make it 1-0. Uh-oh, do we see the same result?
We support all kinds of football on this show.
Yep. On a corner kick, Rural's John Ross Boyd serves it up just right to Joa Hickle for the header. And we're tied at 1.
3 names, 1
Yep,
assist.
there's a throw in the first half, and it goes to Ben Pelton, where he makes a beautiful goal. Top shelf.
Oh, man.
Where Mom keeps the cookies. That makes it 2-1. And Rural gets the big win, scoring 2-1. They head to the finals tomorrow at 2 p.m.
That was incredible. My goodness.
That was a great goal. Great goal.
So incredible. All right, let's take a look at some of our brackets here in the football playoffs. We'll move back to the other kind of football now. We'll start with the 6A. Lawrence Free State moving on to face Blue Valley. How about in our area? Derby got by Topeka High. Junction City, they zoom by Hutchinson. How about 5A? Mill Valley beats Leavenworth. Shawnee Heights, they fall to Pittsburgh. And then St. Thomas Aquinas, who was in the championship game last year, they moved on past Seaman. How about 4A? Division I, Baser Linwood moving on. It's a battle of the letter A. Also, we got Andover and Abilene. And then Hayden, they'll face Bueller next Friday. And then in 4A, Division II, Holton moving on. Santa Fe Trail facing Columbus. Wamego, check this out, Chris. They trailed 27-7. They came back to win it 28-27. Wild game.
Huge comeback. Gotta love the playoffs. And then we go to 3A, the top half. These teams, they play tomorrow in some local flavor. We got Sabetha and Silver Lake matching up. And then Nemaha Central and Rossville as well. And both those teams, they're both 10-0. It'll be a good game.
Oh, yeah.
In Seneca, bottom half, Wichita Independent and Halstead. And then Washington County faces Hoisington. 2A, Troy moves on to face Linden, and Jackson Heights, they will face Olpe as well on Saturday. That'll be a good game as well.
Nice to see that local flavor still in the playoffs.
And that just about wraps us up for Kansas Prep Zone tonight.
But first, we got to go to our play of the week, or the play of the night, excuse me, brought to you by Vision Bank for this week. It's Bryce Erickson in the first quarter connecting with Daniel Courtright there from Santa Fe Trail. Full extension there with the fingertips. Take another look at it. It'll be in slow motion with the fingertip catch.
What a catch. Oh! Keeps his balance.
It's good he ate that peanut butter and jelly before the game so it'd be sticky on the gloves there. Nice catch there. Santa Fe Trail, they get the win in that one, and they're moving on.
Good stand. They stayed with the peanut butter and left the popcorn at home.
Yeah, because that makes it slick.
Yep, and that does us for Kansas Prep Zone, our playoff edition tonight. We'll be back next week. Have a great night.